This episode is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. When was the last time you reviewed your insurance policy? So it's been a while, huh? Well, no worries. My friends at the Austin Brummett Agency would love to hear from you and provide you with some amazing rates. Give them a call at 678-402-8262 or email them at abrummett@farmersagent.com. That's ABRUMIT at farmersagent.com, and tell them Harli sent you. Insiders, Inside the Bubble with Harli G is now sponsored by BetterHelp. As a partner of this episode, listeners can access the BetterHelp link located in the show notes to receive 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp and get matched with a therapist who will listen and help. Go to BetterHelp, that is BetterHelp.com/Inside the Bubble, the link to get started. You're listening to Inside the Bubble with Harli G, the podcast for the superwoman. Every week, we connect with amazing individuals who share their inspirational experiences and stories while motivating and inspiring purpose. It's time to hang your cape. Grab your coffee, your water, your cocktail, and come on in Inside the Bubble with me, your host, Harli G. Hello, welcome, insiders. This is Inside the Bubble with Harli G. I am really excited today because I have a very special guest with me, Zac Potter. I actually met Zac a few years ago. Oh my gosh, I can't remember because it feels like forever.
It's been a minute,
and it was definitely before the pandemic. So probably somewhere around 2017, 2018, something like that. Sounds correct? Okay, so met Zac, and actually I was in a space at work where I led wellness. And in just thinking about our wellness strategy every year, we wanted to make sure that we were providing our employees with a variety of options. We wanted to focus on the well-being, the whole well-being, versus just getting up and just the physical aspect of it. And in doing so, I actually, one of the members on the wellness committee, Harli had some sessions with you or had worked with you before in the past at Windy Hill, right?
We used to work out together, actually at the Vinings Club.
Okay, yeah.
I taught classes and did fitness.
Yeah, so she was like, hey, I have a person, of course she does because Harli knows everybody. And she's like, I have a person that I could recommend to come in and really kind of help us with what we're trying to do as far as providing that well-being piece to our employee population. And that's when Harli was able to bring you in. And so Zac has done yoga for us at Gas South. He's also done meditation. And you also did, was it like a boot camp as well?
We did a fitness boot camp and we did a couple workshops on stress relief too.
Yeah, I mean, he does it all. He literally does it all. It's like, you're like, oh my gosh. Okay, what does this guy not do? Anyway, so started working with Zac on different wellness initiatives. And during the pandemic I feel like everything you do is impactful. But I feel like what you provided to us that was the most impactful was really during the pandemic when we brought you in and we started doing mindfulness sessions. And just the testimonials that we got from you doing those mindfulness sessions, we're fresh into the pandemic. People are struggling, trying to figure out their way, what to do. And everybody's saying, focus on yourself and make sure you take care of yourself. And people had no idea how to do that. And I feel like you really came in and you gave people a different perspective on how to do that. Like, it doesn't have to always be physical at the gym. It could be so many different things. And I really appreciated that. Zach kind of has like a cult at Gas South. Like, there's a group that's like, whatever Zach is going to offer, we're going to take it. We don't care how it is. It could be how to move your pinky from here to here. If Zach's teaching it, we're going to take it. So I think that's so cool that you have your loyal following, and I am one of them as well. Zach does so much stuff, I don't even know where to start. But I really wanted for you to start with your story and how you even got into this space. Because I think it's important to understand the journey, or to know the journey, so that people can have the big picture. So talk to us a little bit about your journey getting into Wellbeing.
Okay, well, it's been, and thank you for the introduction.
You're welcome.
I'm so thankful that I have people that are willing to listen to me and follow me, whether it be exercise or mindfulness. It's great to just be part of a group where we can grow together, because that's important. Man, it's been a journey. Something, I guess it all started really back in high school when I was depressed.
Oh.
I was on, they gave me Zoloft, they gave me Wellbutrin, Prozac. I tried all these things.
Oh, wow.
And the thing that helped the most was exercise. I had never really exercised before. I was kind of like a nerdy kid. Yeah, in high school, I wore all black and I had long hair. I was a nerdy kid.
No, we need a picture. We need a picture. We got to stop right there. We need a picture.
I avoided pictures. I would wear like multiple layers of black things. That's all sad. And then I started doing weight training with some friends. So I was surrounded by friends who were doing positive activities. So that's very important. And I was like, hey. I was open to experiencing some positive things. I said, I'll work out with you. Maybe I can do a pull-up or two.
Okay.
And I'm not so bad at it. I wasn't really good at it. But I started doing it.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I strangely wasn't depressed. And then I realized that the exercise and fitness was very tied to my mood. Way more than I thought. And then I realized I didn't need any of these pills. If I went to the gym on a regular schedule, I was actually kind of born to be a very vigorous person. And if I wasn't living in my purpose of that's kind of already there, I started to feel sad.
Okay.
And I would always, and it still happens, it's still part of my life, because I can get off. I'm not, working out every single day and perfect on all these things. I can get off the wheel.
Yes.
And the weird thing that happens to me when I do get off is that I will start to think that this problem exists and this problem, and all these problems I'll start to see, and I'll feel sad, and I'll think it's because of these other things. And when I get a workout in, when I get a run, when I do a good breathing yoga session, all of a sudden I realize it wasn't those things.
No.
It was inside me. I was imbalanced. And there are things to deal with, but I wasn't posturing myself to that adversity well.
Right.
So it started way back then when I realized exercise was crucial to my health.
To your well-being.
So then I started growing in that. I got better. I started learning. I realized I was kind of a natural in that space. And then I realized another one of my talents, because I think we all have different talents and passions. I love to teach. I love to explain something. Whatever it happens to be, if I know where something is, if I can help someone, I like to communicate with them and be like, hey, this is how I found this. So when it came to the exercise, I found myself naturally, before I started teaching it professionally, I found myself just teaching friends. Be like, oh, you should do this exercise. Like, oh, when you're doing that, your shoulders are way too high. You should probably lower them down.
Yeah.
So with that, I started just helping and teaching naturally, and I went with a career path in so many different places. I went towards business, I've done bartending, I've done so many things, but I realized all along the lines, and when I went to KSU, I went to school for business, but I found myself personal training people on the side. They would ask me. I wasn't even going after that.
That was your passion.
That was my passion.
Yes.
And then people started paying me for it. So then I started realizing I'm making money for my passion, and it started growing from there that I would do that on the side. I did many different types of careers, but that was always the steadfast, because I always worked out.
That was always the tried and true.
That was always the tried and true.
Yes.
And I think it was about a little over 10 years ago is when I started going full time. I started personal training at Crunch, and then I started adding to that, and I said, I want to start adding more gymnastics to it. So I started adding gymnastics. I started doing very much a self-learning path, but I started getting certified in multiple fields, from CrossFit to USA recreational gymnastics, USA track and field certifications, and then I really got into yoga, which was kind of the opposite of it, because everything else is so lift weights.
Exactly. It's like hard, right? Yeah.
They're very masculine, you think, you know, because you don't see many guys in the average yoga class.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
It's scary because what I've noticed, you know, anecdotally and pretty much factually, most guys are not as flexible naturally. So they're not going to run it very well. They're not going to do well. They're going to be embarrassed.
Let me ask my husband, hey, you want to go do yoga? He'll look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, so there's always a few in there.
Yeah.
But I decided, you know, here's a weakness. Let me face this. Because I wanted a partnership with people in the yoga industry because people needed flexibility. It's like, oh, let me refer somebody.
Right.
And I realized, you know what? This is a weakness. I'm looking for other people here. Maybe this is a place for me to experience growth.
Right.
And I started going to yoga classes nonstop. Then I started taking more classes. And then I started to do my 200-hour yoga certification where I became, you know, basically a yoga teacher. And I started going from there. So that really, and the strange thing, when I did that, really linked so many areas because now I had such a well-rounded approach.
Right.
It really helped me with almost anyone in any area.
Okay.
And after that, I really was able to make my living, to be gainfully employed and grow doing my passions and talents. And it's been just a growing story ever since. And I got to meet you around 2017, 2018, start helping in Gas South, which was really fun.
Oh my gosh, just tremendous impact. So do you lean more towards the yoga aspect of it? Is there a specific area of well-being where you feel like you lean towards that area more? Or just the whole thing, right? But I don't know. I felt like when I experienced yoga, with you teaching it, it's not just a normal yoga class for me. It was more than that. It was tying in, which is it's supposed to be, right? But it was tying in mindfulness with a little bit of spirituality. And then, of course, there's a physical aspect of it. But it was just so much more to yoga when I was taking your class versus what the average yoga offers. And I was just like, I feel like that's something that's unique to you. So do you feel like, is there any specific area of your well-being that you're like, this is really like my niche, my specialty? Do you feel that way?
Not specifically. I love yoga, but my niche is well-roundedness. Now,
No, that's fine.
In well-roundedness, I really do think everything starts from the heart. It starts from being mindful and being aware. So I would say within my within my holistic, I really focus on weak points. And a weak point that I see over and over again is a mind-body connection, a rootedness into the breath, and then being in the right mental posture.
Okay.
So since that is a common weak point, you will see me be very strong there because that's the weak point that I need to guide and help people in. So that's an area that I really go in with my yoga as well and in my regular sessions. Okay. So that is a strong area for me. And then also, the yoga really crossed over with me from a more spiritual path. And I know there's atheists and agnostics and Christians. There's so many religions, but as a whole, I think we can all agree mental health, and whether you call it spiritual, mental, let's get down to what is it and what is the fruit of it. It's very, very important, and it's an area that's lacking in our culture because since there's so many ways to view it, we often don't. Unless we're in a church or something like that, we're not going to talk about those deeper areas of whether we have kind of released any unforgiveness that we had. You know, if we feel centered on our passions, things like that are not the normal conversation. Yeah. So with yoga, what I really liked is that we could talk about those things. Yeah. That we could take a moment to breathe and meditate and focus on these deeper issues, which I think are the root of everything. If there's one word I really want to say during this podcast is roots. Get your roots, okay? What is the root of all these things? Because from a good root, you will bear fruit. Yes. Okay? Yeah. So all these things are going to focus on where are these deep-rooted areas. And I think a deep root is our heart, the spiritual area of whatever it happens to be. So that's why I do like yoga as a methodology to be aware of the subtleties and also be aware of the subtleties in your heart. Where's your mind frame?
I love it. So you talked about your journey and your story and the reason, the why, right? Like how you started and you discovering that, you know what, ultimately this is what I need. This is my purpose. So in discovering all of these, did you have like a routine? You do a lot. You run. What does your day look like? Like, I'm sitting here like, okay, Zac probably ran like 5 miles today already. He's already done meditation. He's already done yoga. Like, it's exhausting just keeping up with. What is your routine? What does that look like? Ladies, I know there's so much to do and not enough time in the day. Trust me, I'm right there with you. But what are you doing for yourself? Well, I've recently discovered Body Bar Pilates. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Body Bar Pilates will challenge all of your major muscle groups and provide you with a full body workout. Wow. Listen, I had to check it out. I took a class with Sherelle and it was amazing. They have workouts for all skill levels, whether you're just starting out or you're just looking for a new way to move your body. This is the community for you. Check out my friends at Body Bar Pilates East Cobb or give them a call at 678-941-4371. And don't forget to mention me, Harli G.
Relaxed and it's integrated.
See, of course you would say that.
So, I mean, we have to all do, I mean, you're a mother of 4.
Yeah.
You know, you have a huge workload, and at the same time, you're able to do all this podcast, and the beautiful design in this room is amazing. So we all have so many things we really can do, and then so many things we have to do, whether it be taking out the trash, all these things we don't pay bills, register with things.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we have to do, and we do things that we have to do,
right.
and then they become habits. So there were a lot of things that, you know, I didn't necessarily want to do, but I knew I needed to do them.
Okay.
We don't want to take out the trash, but the reason we don't is because if we don't, it just turns into a pile.
Exactly.
So we have to get it out.
Yeah.
So there are so many things that I've integrated because I realize I need to. It's for my best life that I need to.
Okay.
I don't necessarily run every single day. I usually walk every single morning, and I might go on a light run. But there'll be seasons. I'll rotate. Certain seasons I'll focus more on running and cardiovascular, but I keep a base of it.
Yeah.
It's usually my warm up.
Yeah.
Certain seasons I might focus more on yoga.
Okay.
And then other seasons I might focus more on strength training.
Okay.
I'm always kind of looking at my weak point, almost like if the trash is piling up. If I feel like, you know what, I did deadlift today and I'm not very strong, there's something that's off, I'll focus more on deadlift and get that up. So I'm always in a rotation of kind of going through different seasons for different areas.
Okay.
And there's a few fundamental areas, a few fundamental roots that I'm always working on. And I do see that as kind of 3 within fitness.
Okay.
You have strength. You have endurance, and you have, I like to say, agility. It kind of includes flexibility, but also like whether you can put flexibility in the right place.
Exactly.
It's what allows you to be like a ninja, wherever you want to be.
Ninja.
Yeah. So I kind of look, where's my strength, where's my endurance, where's my agility? And I'm kind of rotating through them, keeping a balanced version, and integrating in my day without getting too stressed or OCD about it.
All right. I like that. You know what? Something that you just said right now just kind of hit my heart. Because I've always been a runner. Okay, so like running has been part of who I am. And crazy enough is lately I've been feeling unbalanced. Meaning running has always been something that I do every single day. Like when I say every single day, I'm talking about Monday through Sunday. I do an hour of cardio every morning, and then I do an hour of weight training every morning. So I'm literally in the gym for 2 hours every day.
You're doing more than me.
But then I've been doing this for years, right? You become stagnant. You start feeling like I don't feel like I'm doing anything anymore, or like I'm pushing myself. So then I added more miles to my running. And so I'm not going to say how many miles I'm up to running now because it will be ridiculous. So I added more miles, but then what happened is my body ends up being exhausted. And unfortunately, I'm in that type of mode that if I don't do, then I'm not doing anything, right? And so, but then what's happening now, it's like, I don't want to run anymore. I mean, it's not that I don't want to run anymore, but that drive that was always there for running, it's died down a little bit. And although I do want to do cardio, but I'm like, I'm just going to do the elliptical. And so it's becoming more like, I'm doing other things versus running. But when you said, we have seasons, you just have to find your balance maybe it is my season to just kind of back off running a little bit and pick up something else that will provide me with that balance. So thank you for saying that, because that really resonated with me when you said that. But yeah, I literally go to the gym. I wake up at this ridiculous hour, 4:15.
Wow.
But the reason why I wake up that early is because I'm adamant about doing my prayer and meditation before anything, and if it's important to me, I'm going to carve out time. It's going to be the first thing that I do. And so when I wake up at 4:15, I get dressed. I actually come here and I sit in this office in the chair and I do my meditation and my prayer before I walk out the house and go work out. And so I'm at the gym at 5:00.
Wow.
And so that is my routine. That's what works for me. But it's kind of like, if I'm gonna say that my faith is important to me, my spirituality is important to me, then that needs to be the thing that I do every single day without fail, right? Not working out, which is important to me, but if that is the most important to me, then I need to make sure that that's the first thing I do in the morning. So it's kind of a little bit on my routine.
That's huge. You have a pretty large routine. I really respect that you put your spirituality, your faith first. I do something similar because it's in the same principle. Whatever you look at first, whatever you're doing first thing I try to look at is some kind of a scripture. I try to go into an area of mental growth. The first thing I want my mind to look at, because it's so easy. I mean, think about the other way. Even if you're agnostic or atheist, think about looking at the first thing you look at is a YouTube or a Facebook, and you're like, this person was killed, this, that.
It's not what you want to feed your soul.
No.
First thing in the day.
No.
Right.
It's not a good first step.
Exactly.
And then my next thing is to go on a walk. And I do get cardio, but cardio is second. My walk is specifically to get myself into a meditation, a prayer, a focus, a time to kind of clear my mind and get the posture of my heart in a good place. So I don't time myself. I have a general idea of how far I might go that day. But if I time myself now, I have to push myself.
It's not about the spirituality of it anymore, right? Yeah. And so I have to do better with this, and I've heard it, but is it a nature walk or is it a walk around the neighborhood? Because I feel like those are different, right? I feel like when you're out in nature, like let's say you're going out on a trail and you're literally surrounded by nature, I think there's a sense of spirituality there. Not to say that walking around the neighborhood is bad, right? You're getting your walk in, but I feel like that's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your walk?
No, my walk is around the neighborhood for now.
Yes.
Now,
okay. No, that's fine.
we have recently moved into a home that thankfully has access where our backyard opens up into nature. Now, this nature is wild. So I would not have focus to go on the walk because I couldn't go internal. I would be dodging things, getting underneath thorns and stuff. But I do hope to carve out a path that goes into some larger paths because it does connect into a few things. Okay. So I'm totally with that. And then there's a reference that throughout multiple religions, the wise individuals that want to go and have a deeper connection go into the wilderness. So you constantly see that going on from so many different journeys. So there's something to that going into the wilderness if you really want to be raw and away. Because what are we doing? We're trying to get away from these things.
From the distractions, everything.
So nature, there's nothing more apart from things, So I respect that, and I definitely think that's a good thing to go. But I go on a walk around the neighborhood just to balance myself, because you don't have to. If you don't have access to nature, you can still go
absolutely
and get your focus on. And then I go into my workout from there. So that's kind of my routine. Sometimes I'll do my workout later in the afternoon, but usually I'll do it right after my walk. And I kind of rotate into different things. So I think it's important for everyone to get some kind of physical activity, but you can go through different seasons. It might be a different thing, but I think there's ways to trick ourselves into having fun, and we should have fun while doing it. It should be a thing of passion. However, there's going to be certain things you don't like, and it's just like the trash. And there's got to be a part of ourselves that if we see an area of our health start to go, that even though we might not like it, we have to address it out of just tough love of self, just necessity. We need to do this as our responsibility for ourselves, and our responsibility is being part of a community, because if we ditch out on ourselves, we are letting go of our community too, because we're meant to serve as part of a greater community.
Absolutely. This is so crazy because so my run is like around my neighborhood. So typically what I do is I go Monday through Friday, I go and work out in the gym, and then Saturdays and Sundays I run outside in the morning. So it's a long run, but that is my workout. I don't go to the gym on the weekends. I do the running, so I run around here, and there's this lady that I see at the gym throughout the week. She comes in, we kind of come in at the same time, and she does her little run walk on the treadmill, and then she goes or whatever. One day I was on the treadmill, and she was like, I just want to tell you that I see you on the weekends running every single weekend, and you are an inspiration. And I'm sitting here like, what? And so it just kind of like, you just never know who you're inspiring and motivating by doing what you're doing, right? So just for the simple fact that I'm out there running, I could be running for 5 minutes, but the point is, she sees me out there running every weekend, and she's like, okay, like, I can do this too. I can work, like, even it sucks, and we always say getting there is the first half of the battle, like even on the day. And so that's what I want to talk to you about too, because people might take a look at you, like, your physique, and be like, man, it must come so easy for him to do this. Like, oh, great. Like, people, I always get comments on my arms. They're like, your arms are just so amazing. You must just go to the gym, work out. And I want to tell people, I want people to understand that it is a struggle on some days. Like, I need people to understand that I don't just wake up every morning and I'm like, yay, I'm so looking forward to going working out. Like, there's some days where I'm like, this is the last thing that I want to do. But some way, somehow, I'm like, okay, take one step, just get up. And then I'm like, okay, just put your clothes on. I have to take it one step at a time, because it's a struggle for me that day. And people need to understand that, because, like I said, it's not just like, I don't know, people feel like we just wake up every day and it's like, I'm going to go work out now and it's going to be great. And it's not like that every day. No. So do you struggle sometimes? Or, you're looking at me like, really?
Yes, I struggle. I think it comes down to the root, the core is, I made a decision that I need to take care of my body. I need to love. It's a type of love. It's in the family of tough love,
Yeah.
But I need to love my body. I need to take care of myself. So I made this decision, just like an individual might make the decision, I need to pay rent. I got to go to work. So a person that goes to work and they pay rent, I'm like, oh, it must be so easy for you. Look, your rent's paid. You're there. You're like, no. I have to go to work. I don't want to, but I've made the decision I have to, because I want to live in a home. So I make myself do it. So the same thing with me and working on, I think a lot of individuals in the health and fitness community is that they've made a deep decision that they want to be part of the health and fitness community. They're going to take care of themselves. And then one way or another, you get yourself there because you've decided. All right, you've made this psychological decision. You will do this, and once you do that, then you have to do it. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you gotta yell at yourself a little bit. But you have to make a deal. Okay, if you do this, I'll do this. But one way or another, you make yourself do it.
I love it, because it's like, sometimes maybe what you need to do is like reward yourself, right? Like, you know what? Today I'm going to work out, even though I don't want to, but I'm going to reward myself by having that one scoop of ice cream that I really want to have. Just reward, like, incentivize yourself. You incentivize other people to do things, right? Why not incentivize yourself? Yep. I'm glad I mentioned ice cream. So I want to go into the nutrition aspect. So what does your nutrition look like? Are you one of those individuals, you're very strict with your diet? Do you believe in cheat days? Do you, or you just find the balance? Like, what does nutrition look like for you?
So I have been strict in the past.
Okay.
I've actually, to kind of be explorative, and because I am enthusiastic about fitness and nutrition, I've tried a few different, very strict dietary paths. Okay. I've done the classic bodybuilder where you're doing chicken, broccoli, rice at a certain amount to your fitness level, and it's all about the macros. What are your macros? And I recommend, please learn these. If you don't know macros, if you're sitting at home and you're listening to this awesome podcast, and you're like, what is the podcast, or what is the carbs, the macros? I do recommend that you learn these at first. Okay. Learn these rules. But I've done the macros based on my activity. I've done vegetarian variations. I've done vegan variations. I've done gluten-free.
Listen,
I've done intermittent fasting where you don't eat for different windows of time and you work on inner glycogen and stuff like that, which at first it didn't kick off, but then I understood and I was like, okay, this works. So I've done many different patterns, but once I did these in so many ways, and I think I've seen many other people in the fitness community do this, I kind of have a deep idea of what's going on internally.
Okay.
And I kind of do a balanced diet. I play it based on my activity level, what I'm doing. So in general, right now, I eat more lean meats of fish and chicken. I try to also go more wild-caught fish. I eat a lot of mahi-mahi because it's wild-caught. It's not expensive. You can flavor it in so many different ways.
Yep.
So I eat a lot of fish and chicken as my protein. Within my carbohydrates, I try to eat cruciferous vegetables because there's so many studies on it, being just broccoli and cauliflower. I mix in fruits throughout the day. Fruits and berries are amazing. Blueberries are so many antioxidants. I eat nuts throughout the day. I just got to keep these around the house. That's easy to get them.
Right.
And then I eat things like root vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, rices and quinoas and things like that as my starches.
Okay.
And so I kind of have this mix, and I eat based on my behavior pattern.
Okay.
So say if I'm working out really, really hard, I'm going to eat more and I'm going to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay. Say if I, for one reason or another, like I had an injury and I didn't work out that hard and I skipped this because we had to go do this thing.
Yes.
I'm going to eat a lot lighter. I'm going to say no to the ice cream.
Right. Okay.
So I just moderate. Once I kind of learn the rules, now you can kind of break the rules.
Oh, I like it.
Based on what's going on because you understand the concept.
Yes.
So to me, after a journey of going through and really understanding the rules in the first place, now I just kind of have a balanced diet based on what's going on.
I love it. You should write a book on nutrition, by the way. Just saying. Add that to the library.
So, in my book, there's a chapter on nutrition.
Okay.
And I really just focus on the basics. The rules,
okay, cool.
So that once a person learns those rules, and I introduce the most fundamental diets that you're going to be introduced to, because I didn't really pick one that I'm like, oh, and you'll notice a lot of times people are like, this is the diet. Okay?
Yes.
And I don't want to get into a contention with them or
yeah,
anything. But there's a few different paths that I've seen very fit, healthy, happy people living. So my hypothesis is that there are different diets for different people.
Exactly.
Yes. So find the one that fits you best. Now, all of them are going to have this many macros of this. They're going to have types of food, macronutrients and micronutrients. So you should learn that. That's like the ABCs of it, so you can even understand what you're being prescribed. So I recommend learn the rules, try out a few different types, see which one fits best for your lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what? And speaking of books, like Zac, of course, he came in. Zac is just different. He came in bearing gifts. So Zac wrote 3 books during the pandemic. Like, this is just mind blowing to me. And so I can't wait to get into them, by the way. So thank you for that. But so tell me a little bit about the books and how you got there. Like, what was the reason behind you really wanting to put these books out there, and what could people expect from getting the books, reading the books?
So during the pandemic, we all were like kind of reset, and we were at home a lot more, and I figured, what are we going to do during this time? So I thankfully did have a setting where I could sit and work on some books. I know a lot of people did not have, the ability to do that, but I did, so I wanted to make the most out of my opportunity. So as we've been talking about philosophy, a very well-rounded outlook at health, I was like, I really want to write this well-rounded outlook. It's just the basics. Nothing too fancy, but not specializing too much. Let's just look at health as a whole from a bird's eye view. And I called it Foundations of Human Health. What are these basic foundations? So I wrote a textbook. It's kind of like a textbook for adults, It's something you'd see in college, but I try to make it just, all right, learn your basics.
Yes.
So the book goes through the basics. It kind of starts at, what is health? What is physical health from a posture perspective? From an exercise, I look at the endurance, the agility, and the strength, and we go over those. We look at dietary. We also look at lifestyle as well. We kind of touch a little bit into mental health. Honestly, I don't go super deep anywhere. I try to focus on making sure we get all the basics.
Foundation.
So that is the foundations of it.
Got it.
At the end of that book, or kind of while I was writing, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? If somebody really wants to do it, I want to make it so that they can step by step address each one of these.
Yeah.
So I wrote a companion book called the Action Book with it.
Ah.
So each one of them is interrogatory. It wants you to fill in
Yes.
what you learned from your appointment with your doctor. When you ask your doctor, is there anything I need to work
Yes.
on? What you learned about when you went to go see a physical therapist or a chiropractor, and you said, am I off balance? What would I do to be able to regain any mobility? So truth is, if you take the Action Book and you actually take the action to address each one of those,
Okay.
you are going to go on a journey where you might have to meet with many professionals and really look at your health from all these different angles. So that was my foundational health book.
Okay.
Now, while I was doing that, I was really getting into my spiritual side, and I was getting deep into, I was seeing so much stress, and still is, in the world. And we've all heard the saying, you know, what the world needs now is love. You know, love is yes, love is what we all need.
Break out the song.
But that's why Harli is such. I love Harli's bubbliness,
Oh my
her
gosh.
personality, how you're always ready to go. I love your energy, and it is contagious and inspirational.
Yay.
So I'm thinking, you know, what is this love that we need? Because I'm very like, my personality, just like health. I'm like, what are the main elements of health? So my personality is like, well, what are the main elements of love? We say love, but we say it so.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that even mean? You know? And it felt almost taboo to
I know,
define
right?
it. Like, you're not supposed to say, like, everybody
Right.
makes their own definition.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I made a kind of controversial title. I think it put off a few people. I'm not trying to put people in a box with
Yeah.
it. But I said, you know, I want to write a book on love, and what are the commonalities we see across religions, across people's discussions. What is this love? So from a Christian perspective, the number one commandment that you have to do, the one above all, that is love. To love God and to love your neighbor as yourself. So you're supposed to love as yourself. So it's intended that we would love ourselves in that. A lot of people forget neighbor as self too.
Yes, exactly.
So we're supposed to love. Well, what is that love? So I really went on a journey of looking at the different elements of love. Then I got into virtue and goodness in the heart.
Oh.
And it kept on growing. And then it felt too textual. So I actually turned it all into poetry. So I looked at different areas of a healthy heart.
Yes.
Whether it be love of a friend. So I have a poem about philo, which is the Greek love of a friend. And they have love of family. And I have all these poems about love's who. Then we have types of love. So I have a poem for tough love and a poem for nurturing love. And then what is love without wisdom? Because if we want to love, we have the intent, but we don't understand how.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that.
Yeah, it is. It's very true. We want to love this person and we want them to feel that they're loved, but we don't know how to go about it.
Yeah.
So I guess this is where the wisdom part comes in.
I believe in, you know, within my poetry, you don't have to, but it's a look that wisdom is the how of love.
Okay.
That wisdom is how we would love. Okay? And then say you have the wisdom. Say you want to love a family, you want to love a person, a community, anything. And you go through the path. You want to understand how to love. So you go through that path. You want to understand them. You want to learn them so you can love them. What is that without will? If you have no willpower to actually do it, no courage to go through, or abstain from things that might be stopping you from that love of others or love of self. What is that? So I realized that everything kind of roots from this first intent to desire to love.
Yeah.
And then we have wisdom where we would learn how to love. And then we have our will, which we either go forth or hold back to be able to love.
Yes.
So I kind of have these different roots of areas, and I write poems about different areas to kind of almost make a map of love, but in a secret little hidden way. So
what?
It's a little different than your classic fitness, but it was a labor of love that I wanted to do. It just came out. Yeah. And I just started writing. It's a little book, poems about different aspects of virtue and love. So, yeah.
That is amazing. And so where can we find these books if we wanted to get our hands on them?
So all my health and fitness books are on Amazon. So we'll have the link. I'll send you the link. It'll be available.
We'll include, yes, absolutely.
And then the love book is strictly through my website, which lionshearthealth.com. We can put the link in and they can order the love book.
Yeah.
It's just a little book, a labor of love of poems about love, which I do think is the root, because how am I going to take care of myself physically if I have no love for myself?
Absolutely. That's where it all starts, right? That's the root.
This is the root.
Look, I'm learning. So we talked about your journey, but I really want to talk about your purpose. You talk about my energy, but your passion is so magnetic. It is so electrifying. It's like you just ooze of like well-being. It's amazing. It's like, you have this aura about you. It's like when people come around you, I really genuinely feel like that is part of your purpose, and that's why you've been so successful. It's just because you can just feel the passion when you're around you about just overall well-being. It's not just about working out. You are focused on finding that whole well-being, that holistic view of wellness. And I think that is what makes you so impactful. When people come around you, they feel it, and I love it. And so for mothers that are going through life and have a lot to do, and they're always taking care of other people or the people around them, and mothers they're near and dear to my heart, because I know what it's like to be that mom on the go and trying to get Susie over there, Johnny over there, and all that stuff. And we always end up putting ourselves on the back burner. At the end of the day, when everybody's taken care of, we're like, okay, I'm going to bed. And now we have literally gone through a whole day where we've taken care of everybody, and we literally did not leave a single minute to ourselves. And my hope and my message throughout these podcasts is always to tell mothers and that high achieving woman is so important for you to focus on love yourself, like you just said. But what are some recommendations? How does someone even start? They're going to say, Zac, I don't have time. I don't have time during the day between my job and taking kids there and making sure the household is taken care of. I don't have time. What do you tell somebody when they tell you that? Oh my gosh, the look you just gave me.
Well, I think actually you're an inspiration in that, Harli, because you decided to make time. You have 4 kids, you have so many things to do, but you decided that you would make time for the things important in your life in the morning. And because of that, I figure you probably did something like that similar today. And you are awake and you are energetic, because right now we are talking about them in the logic world, because I know it can get real emotional, but within a logic context, all right, we're talking about energy and how much energy we have to be able to divide. So if working out, it's proven, we all know it, scientifically working out is going to give you more energy. It's going to yield more that you take care of your body, and over time, if you don't, you're going to get less and less energy. So it is emotional, and people are going to ask for all these things from you, but from a very kind of warlike strategy mindset, it is logical if we work out or we do some kind of self-care to take care of ourselves so that we have more. It will bear more fruit. It will pay more time for us to do other things. Now, from a more emotional perspective, if your kids needed one more thing, and they really needed it, it wasn't important, you love them, you're going to make time for them. Okay? If you had one more person in your life and they really need you to do that one thing for you, it was important, you would do it. So if we realize that, and we can put ourselves in the place of realizing, hey, I need one more thing, and that's a little bit of time for self-care. We're going to make that time. So we have to know that if there was one more person we loved, we could do it. So if we can really focus on that love for ourselves, we can make that time, whatever it happens to be. And we have inspiration around us. And I think there's so many ways, and that's where we start out with that origin. I need to love myself. So then it moves to wisdom. How do I love myself? Is it possible? It is possible. If we put in the work, we'll actually gain more time. There's different strategies and hacks, and I know some people are put off from hacks because it can go down to like, kind of BS. Yeah. But it is. You should be wary when people say hacks. But there are some tricks. There are some definite techniques to layer things so you're getting the most out of something. Right now, I've been part of my clientele has been growing where I've been getting a lot of youths that have been training with me. And I've been telling their parents, I said, hey, you can work out with them. There's no reason if you're going to drop them off, you can work out with them at the same time. And they end up working out with their kids.
That's
they
amazing.
Get great bonding, and it's a 2-for-1 special because they don't have to just drop their kids off the next thing. They get to come and get their fitness on at the same time.
That's amazing.
So there's many different techniques that you can do if you really want it enough. And I implore, because these are, my fellow brothers and sisters, try to find that way you can be able to love yourself in that kind of, yes, nurturing love, but tough love too. Take care of your body, because it's going to yield fruit in your family and your community, which is what we all need, because we're in a tough time, and it's up to a bunch of individuals to make the choices that we can love in excess and grow fruit and be able to pull this whole ship together as a whole in unity.
In HR, what I do is I'm having conversations upon conversations with employees I'm always preaching, and I was always preaching, take care of yourself. And ironically, I'm not doing that. I'm going to the gym, right? Because I'm going to the gym, but I don't really feel like that's one piece of it, right? But I didn't feel like the spiritual side of me and the mental side of me, I felt like I was taking care of the physical part, but everything else I wasn't making time for it. So I kind of started on that journey last year, just really kind of going on a personal growth journey. And I got to be in a place where I was doing it. I was getting there. But this year, so me and my kids, we actually write New Year's resolutions at the beginning of the year. And so they're writing and they fall off of it. But the point is, I want to get them to think, what is a goal that I can put in place and how can I go about it? We're still working on being consistent. So we write our goals and then we say them out loud because we want to be able to hold each other accountable for them, right? It could be something as simple as, I want to brush my teeth every night. Okay, so now that we know that, we're going to be like, did you brush your teeth? You know? And so they said their goals out loud and then they turn around and they're like, Mommy, what's your goal? And I was like, okay, so my goal is going to be mommy time. And they're like, what is that? And I was like, so every day from 7 to 8, it's my time. Like, I'm going to come into the office. I'm going to lock myself in the office and I'm going to do whatever I need to do for me. Right. And they were like, okay. So every day from 7 to 8, I come into the office, I close the door, and they know that I'm having mommy time. And crazy enough, it got to the point where maybe I'm getting into something and I'm focused, time is getting away from me, and maybe it's 7:15 and I'm not in the office and they're like, aren't you supposed to be having mommy time right now? Exactly. And I'm like, holy moly. And that's what really helped me with that taking care of me. It's to involve my community and my support system in there. And I listened to this podcast once and this lady was like, she literally spoke to her circle, it was like her mother, her siblings, her best friends or whatever. She called them and she said, every day from this time to this time, I'm not available. I'm taking care of myself. Okay. So don't call me at that time. And they respect that. They're like, you know what? Lauren is taking care of herself right now. I'll call her after 8 o'clock. So for me, it's really kind of involving that community that held me accountable to taking care of myself. So that's what really helped me.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Boundaries are so important.
Exactly.
You have to be able to create them and be able to value yourself and your boundaries. That is absolutely huge.
I mean, and there has been times where they've forgotten for whatever reason. And, you know, I always lock the door and they'll knock and I'm like, what is mommy doing right now? And they're like, okay, I'll be back. I was like, is the house on fire? They're like, no. I was like, okay, then it can wait. And they'll go away. And then when I'm done, they'll tell me. And chances are they forgot. By the time I okay, you were knocking on the door 30 minutes ago. What was that about? I don't remember.
Wasn't that important?
Exactly. Exactly. Just totally crazy. Could
I share one more tool in
absolutely.
Finding our passions?
Yes.
Have you heard of Ikigai?
No.
Okay,
what is that?
It sounds like Ikigai, but it's of Japanese origin, and it's a methodology of self-evaluation, of looking at fulfilling your purpose in life.
I love this.
Yeah, so it's just a methodology.
Okay.
I highly recommend it for youths too.
Okay.
So check this out.
Okay.
It's just 4 different areas that you look at.
Okay.
Right? The first one, passions. What are your passions?
Yes.
You brainstorm. Now, passions, you don't necessarily have to be good at them. It's things you like to do.
Exactly.
You want to do.
Yeah.
Next thing, what are your talents? You don't necessarily have to like it. You might hate doing math equations, but you're naturally good at math.
Yes, exactly.
So you write down, you brainstorm, what are all my natural talents? People have told me I'm good at this. I empirically, I score well at this. I'm good at these talents. Okay. Next is, what can you get paid for? What of these things do you make money doing? And the next thing is, what has impact? What does the world need?
Yep.
So what they do is in the Ikigai, they have these 4 circles, but the circles intersect each other. So there's this kind of geometric thing in the center where all of those collide. And they call that Ikigai.
Oh.
Yeah. I wish I could spell it. It's like IK
or
something.
You're going to have to give us the information on how to find
we'll have it. Or
we'll have it.
And if you even just like say it in Google, Ikigai, they'll give you some it'll come up.
Okay. Perfect.
But looking at what are the balance between my passions and my talents, because a lot of people get confused there, because I think we've all known them, that they're passionate about singing, but they can't sing. And you're like, good.
Exactly.
You should sing recreationally.
Or in the shower.
So it's really taking inventory and seeing where all those things mix together. And I think it's great for youths, because we kind of know it almost subconscious, but it's a good exercise. So sometimes youths have never really done this.
No.
So it's a big inventory for them to look at those things.
Exactly. Or even recognize what they're good at, where they're passionate at, right? Yeah. For me, it's very similar, but it's the core values. So it was like going through my journey of finding what my core values were, and then once I had that, what is it that I love doing, and how do I marry my core value with what I love doing? And this is kind of how the podcast was created. But yeah, and for me, it's also that connection piece. So being able to connect with individuals, hear their stories, and bring light and awareness to that. So to inspire and motivate towards purpose.
That was your mission statement right there.
It is my mission statement.
So say it one more time. What's your mission statement?
So my mission statement is to provide a platform where individuals are able to come and connect with each other through their stories and experiences while motivating and inspiring purpose.
I love it. That's good. And that's a beautiful, loving thing to do. It provides value in this world.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Great.
So we need some information from you before we leave. So we need to know, you've already told us where to find the books. But if somebody wants to reach out to you and they want to start their wellness journey, how do they reach out to you? Where do they find you? What can they do? Tell us.
So right now I'm teaching and training in the Smyrna Mapleton area of Georgia. So if you're in that area, I'm still taking on some clients.
Awesome.
Reach out to me. You can just reach out to me through my website. It has my email address, so lionshearthealth.com, and that'll be where you could also see the Love book. You can get the other book there too. Right now I'm just working on that. We're doing renovations of a gym, so I'm working on that.
I'm excited. I want to come and see it when it's done.
Yeah. It's right. Yeah. I can't wait to do it, or wait to show everyone. I'm gonna do a video and kind of go over it.
Awesome.
We'll do a gym reveal. But yeah, the best way is to come onto my website if you want to contact me, learn more, see any of the resources that I do have on the website. Okay, awesome. Are you on social media as well? No, not really. I'm not driving people to the website. That's fine. Yeah, just wanted to know. I'm driving people to the website. I have a couple of YouTube videos, and I'm going to come out with more once the renovation is complete. We'll do some gym videos. Awesome. Right now, the website's the primary way to find me, but you can follow me on YouTube, Lions Heart Health. On YouTube. Okay. And we do have Lions Heart Health on Instagram. So perfect. I don't have posts every day. We have some good quality ones up there. Yeah. There's some stuff up there. Yeah. Follow me on social media, and if you're in the area, would love to have you come and work out. Perfect. Well, this was amazing. Your energy, your passion, your purpose. Like, you are truly walking in your purpose, and I love that. I absolutely do. So I hope you all enjoyed the show today. Make sure to check out the website where you can find some resources and you can interact and engage with Zac. But we will also post this information in the show notes. So you can look into the show notes where you can get this information on how to get to the website. If you want to start training with Zac, if you want to reach out and just have a conversation with him about well-being, period, you can do that as well. And also, do not forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe to the pod. So all that information is in the show notes. It's also in our link on Instagram, Inside the Bubble HG. So that is where you are able to find us. And let us know what you thought about the show today. We definitely want your feedback. We want to engage with you all. See maybe what information that you didn't know before, but now you're like, you know what? I listened to the podcast and now I know what is this macros thing. We can definitely get into it. So, guys, you have just been inside the bubble. So exciting, so amazing. And remember, there is purpose in your story. Make sure to check out the pod every Monday. We have new episodes coming up.
Until next time. Bye. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Hit the subscribe button and share. Share this pod with your family, with your friends, with your girlfriends, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Inside the Bubble with HG. Keep the conversation going. Drop us a heart emoji. Engage with us. We would love to hear from you. New episodes are dropping every Monday on your podcast streaming platforms. And remember, there's purpose in your story.